Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Heal Profoundly and Enduringly. I'm so excited to be here with Laura McPhee. I'm going to introduce her in just a quick hot second. But first, for those of you who have not been to this show before, know that this is really your opportunity to take out your pen and paper and jot down the resources, tools, and opportunities for you to empower yourself to heal yourself. It can be done. I am living proof. So is Laura. And we are here to share all the goodness with you. This is also an opportunity for you to be able to identify how you connect with Laura. And this is confusing because we're both Laura. However, I'm not going to refer to myself in the third person, therefore. But it's like, I love just connecting the humans, the best foundation for your expansion is finding that relationship that clicks like a champ. So if you feel like you resonate, Laura's a human, just reach out and say, hi, human, and a conversation will begin. Okay. So Laura McPhee, she is a speaker, healer, and coach who supports coaches, healers, and heart-centered entrepreneurs to increase their impact, income, and pleasure. She empowers female leaders to serve from an overflowing cup with pleasure, joy, and ease. Laura is a theta healer who, by the way, healed like dormant viruses within my body forever. So I'll just give that a plug. She's a master Reiki practitioner, a Tony Robbins Mastery University grad, Claircognizant, Empath, Reflector in human design, which I think is fascinating. In fact, I was just talking to somebody yesterday who was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person in my life is a reflector. Like, this makes so much sense. Have you ever known a reflector? I'm like, yes, Laura McPhee. Erotic Blueprint Coach who's mentored under Jaiya. And anybody, if you know who she is, she even has a freaking series on Netflix. Like kick-ass.
Sex, love, and group. So
good.
I
know, it's so good. As well as trained in accelerated evolution. And by the way, she used to be an accountant. So
I'm from that world too.
She's from that world too. And it's actually really helpful. Laura McPhee was my one-to-one coach for 2.5 years.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It was amazing. She helped me heal my body. I mean, she just helped my body so much and held the most compassionate space. And I can say, not only did she get my sex life to the juiciest experience on the planet, but I'm saying, she healed dormant viruses that had been in my body for decades. And I mean, just mind blowing. So I'm so honored to have you here. And I'm so excited for people to get to know you.
Yay. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And oh my gosh, I loved how your husband was like, can you have a call with Laura? Can you have another call with Laura? What's your next call with Laura? I'll watch the kids. Have a call with Laura.
He's like, wait, don't you have homework? We need to be getting your homework done.
That was the best.
It was the best. All right. So I always start this show with, what is that one thing that you feel is necessary to heal profoundly and enduringly? Give it to us.
I love that question. And I feel it is a deep connection with our bodies, because if we've voted it off the island or we're not connected with it, it's so hard to heal it. If it's how this happens to you, and if they're talking about a thing that's happened to them, but they're talking about it, how this happens to you and this, and it's if they're not owning it, if they're not claiming that this has actually happened to me, I find that that's so much more difficult to even start the healing process, because they're just that's separate. That's not even me. So one of the things I love supporting my humans with is deepening their connection with their body, deepening their connection with a love that's within themselves, with the inner healing intelligence within our own body. That, yes, I'm a healer. I'm amazing at holding space, and I get to witness the healing happening within you, that you are the empowered being with choice, who's raising their hand and being I don't like how this has been going. I'm choosing something different, or I'm choosing something even better right now for myself. So I really feel it's that deeper connection within yourself, and then that connection with love, the love that's within you, the love from your higher power, whether that's God, creator, source energy, the universe, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it. That's so profound and epic in your world if you can connect with yourself and connect with love.
Yeah. And loving on your body, also realizing, and that's one of the, I think the biggest points that I've learned from working with you too, is just it's not enough to just do the things for your body and check it off your list because you're supposed to, or because I need to heal, or I want to feel better, focused on the outcome. But it's really important to appreciate the process of loving on your body, because if you're just fine, I'm going to put lotion on myself, right? I'm
doing what I should do, and I'm doing self-care.
Exactly. It's like, just feel into the sensation. You know what I mean? That's something that I would love for you to talk about too, is just like, even before we talk about, the sexual energy piece, which could be something that people kind of shrink back from or get nervous about, right? That sensual piece is such a beautiful way to start to experience that pleasure in loving on ourselves.
And I also love expanding the word pleasure, not just because the more like above PG rated stuff gets censored on the internet, but also like pleasure can be like eating chocolate. Pleasure can be like a deep breath in and a sigh of relief. Pleasure can be like just feeling the warmth of your hand on your own hand. Like pleasure can be so many things. And yes, we can expand it and amplify it and get to like euphoric, blissful, utopian states in our human bodies, which is so fucking good. And I absolutely love. And having the enjoyment of your life. Like if right now your bandwidth is just to like happy and I can like be a happy person, cool, be in your happy person. I remember when like happiness was my main goal. And then it's like, ooh, joy, ooh, bliss. Oh, like there's more. So like everyday pleasures. And it can be like sipping your tea in the morning, playing with your fur baby, playing with your real babies. Like there's so much pleasure in this life. And unfortunately, because of patriarchy, we're kind of like, no, we need to work, do things and be productive. But it's like rest, play, fun. Those are extremely expansive as well.
And that, man, is such a mind fuck when you first start this journey, because it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like
I've been conditioned.
Yes. And you need to rewire, recondition, re-educate your subconscious mind to we actually get to lead in a very different way. We get to experience in a very different way that gets us to the same outcome.
Yeah.
Right. And we're such outcome driven humans as humans.
And even better outcomes. Cause it's like, oh, do you want all the money and all the things that you desire with the like work-life balance? I don't love balance. It's like you can have a better harmony of it. You can choose and co-create your life. You can have time freedom. You can have financial freedom. You can have what your heart is desiring. And it can be even better than what your human mind thought it would have to be to get there.
Yeah. That's what I love saying. Because when I started this journey, I was very happy. I was very settled in my life. I mean, I was sick, but I was, I was very happy, but I didn't even know what phenomenal tasted like, and felt like in my field in terms of sensation, in terms of using our senses. Like that's the gift of being human, as we get to experience this pleasure and like, just let ourselves get lost in it and allow it to take us wherever we want it to take us. And that's where we need to let go of that control. And I think this is where that whole masculine, feminine balance comes in, right? And like, well, not balance, harmony, right? Of talking about, how do we harmonize this divine masculine and divine feminine?
And I love that you call yourself and said harmony, because it's not a balance. Like there's so many people who are like, I want a work-life balance. And the way that we've been conditioned into the world, it's like, okay, well, there's so many slices of the pie. Like there's limiting belief systems. There's only so much of things, but it's like, there's an infinite realm of possibility. There's a quantum field that you can connect in at any point in time. There's so much fucking miracles and possibility here. So when we tap into that world and that belief system, it's like, okay, in any moment of time, how do I desire to be flowing in my life? And I come from corporate accounting, super high achiever, A+ and everything, hyper masculine energy world, like fucking can do the Tony Robbins thing and like be up for 15 hours, jumping up and down, doing all the things. Like I can be and function in the hyper masculine energy world. And it's not necessarily like the most loving thing to my body, my adrenals, all those things. So I went to the other extreme and I'm like, cool, let's do like the divine feminine, just flow, rest, and have a ton of time off and just be in pleasure and all that. And then I was like, okay, so now I'm not really doing as much and I'm being more that like vibe of couch potato manifester of just like, let's just like enjoy life for weeks and weeks on end and not really do anything in my business, hoping my business will still make money. It's like, okay, that doesn't really work if I go to that extreme either. But when I harmonize them, when I'm like, okay, well, what if in this moment I'm 40% masculine, 60% feminine, and the next moment 50-50, next moment 70-30. Like you can move and flow, and it doesn't have to be this staple. And I love making smoothies every day. You can also think of like making a soup or making something else that you love. You can add in a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Do you want it to be a little bit sweeter? Do you want it to be a little bit more tart? Oh, do you want it to have a little bit more protein? Like you can add in different ingredients and balance it out. You can be like, ooh, I want it to taste a little bit more like this today. I also do intuitive eating. So it's like, I want to just flow with what I'm feeling called to in the moment. And that tends to work so much fucking better for my life and for my body and for my business and for my relationships and for my sex life and for everything. Because I get to like continuously tune into how can I be the most divine being in this moment? And then that's like, what degree of masculine and feminine? And when I'm like in my business making money, it tends to be a little bit more masculine. And I'm even like adding in team members who can hold more masculine pieces so that I get to be more feminine and creative and flowy and trusting and surrendered. So there's all these different pieces, and I'm attracting way higher level, like king fucking men in my world who want to hold the masculine, who love how well I receive, who love how deeply I can just trust and flow and work with it. So all of these things were built baby step, baby step. I move in inspired action, like teeny baby steps over time. And it's allowed me to co-create the life that I have now. Like it did not start with everything just working out. Like I went from one extreme to another, and then I'm like, okay, so that's not great. Let's like add some more in. And then I'd fuck up and I'd be like, okay, well, this last week I started sleeping 5 hours a day. That didn't really work. I added in too much masculine. Let's like flow back and more self-care and more honoring of my boundaries of when I go to bed. Like there's shifts that you get to make. And instead of being like, oh my God, I feel about it, I'm doing so bad. Like we're literally way shores of the new way that we can do life on this planet. We're like a new paradigm. So I really want to invite everyone to be extremely gentle and loving with yourself when you're on this journey, because there's not a lot of people doing it and not a lot of blueprints for how this looks. So you get to create the one that works best for you, that you're most called to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love being able to visualize it on a spectrum. You know what I mean? Where, and the fact is that's reality, because as humans, we're never static. Like nothing's ever static, right? It's all energy. It's always flowing. It's always moving. And so meeting yourself in the moment, like you said, making those decisions for inspired action and the highest level of harmony for your vibration in the moment is honoring that human piece of ourselves. It's honoring the fact that yes, we do move back and forth on this spectrum. And let's just get curious about where we are instead of saying, oh my gosh, I'm kicking myself for being in this space. Instead, it's that gentle approach, like you said, and being able to really just honestly honor the human. And what happens is, especially when we start on this spiritual journey, a lot of people feel like just negating the human and flying up there into the clouds, right? That's the spiritual bypassing piece where it's like, okay, I'm just going to hang out in these other dimensions because being human is so fucking hard.
Right. Which I hear, you're like, oh my God, I fucking hear. I'd rather be Palladian. Like, I get it. Some days my human parts are like, really, this is what we chose.
I know. I know.
It's like, can we just be joyful and like beingness and oneness all the time? Okay, no, we're learning different things. Cool.
But those are those reminders, you know, that we need. Like we need those reminders, like when we sink into that and we're just like, oh, right, I get to choose, right? I get to choose.
Yeah.
Yes. And we chose to be here and we get to choose in every moment. It's so exciting. So I love that you were talking about too, like how just these kids keep coming into your world, right? To like hold this masculine energy. And it's so funny that you bring that up too, because I would love to talk about this just in the concept of coaches, healers, light workers who have businesses, because I say all the time that I firmly know that, yes, I've done a ton of healing work on myself and continue to expand moment by moment in my relationship with the divine and my relationship with myself. But I also give immense credit to my relationship with my husband and how, you know, he has been that king, that grounding force in my human to help my feminine flow, to help me open up and feel anchored and rooted in my human so that all the other parts of me can just explore and figure out who I am, what am I meant for. And that has been a huge anchor for my business as well, in addition to the divine. And so what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, I love that so much. And I'm going to like share a thing that is totally meant to be like a 4-minute mile for people, because back in like 2019, the most like highest month I had was like a 3K month. And then I joined this program that helped me with sales, and I had a 6K month. And then I just like basically had vacation. I vacationed for a couple weeks in Denver and then a couple weeks in Portland, and basically just like met the guy in Denver, followed him to date him in Portland, and had like sex for 2 weeks in a row. And it was just like, okay, he's fucking Soul King energy. I like literally went to this event, told my friend I'm ready for my Soul King, got introduced to him, and had a 20K fucking cash month the next month. Like, numbers like that aren't typical.
Right.
And that was me deepening into my capacity to receive that he super fucking supported me in. And without getting too much into like PG plus things, if you can't allow yourself to just be the one in pure receivership in the bedroom by your beloved, how is the universe going to just like give to you generously? So like, that's a very fun way, especially for people who are like, I'm just doing all this like deep inner child healing work and I'm crying all the time and there's just so much fucking shadow work. I love to be like, hey, what if we like play with pleasure and do stuff in the bedroom? And it doesn't have to be a cock body partner. It can be someone else who holds masculine energy, or a partner who helps you deepen into your capacity to receive. And that the X energy and the money energy are so fucking linked.
100%.
So you expanding into your capacity to receive expands your pleasure and your fucking bank account and the cash flow into your business and all the things that you were like desiring, but you weren't quite yet ready to hold as a human. It expands your capacity to hold it, which is so fucking fun. And that's like such a fun way where it's like, oh, hey, cool. I have homework to like have more playtime in the bedroom with my partner, and that's going to make me more money. That's great.
Oh yeah. I love this so much because I mean, reason number 562 why my husband was always telling me to have sessions with you. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just so funny because I was in a mastermind, a business mastermind alongside being in my one-on-one container with you. And I'll never forget, like that coach looked at me and she's like, Laura, I think your first book needs to be Fuck Your Way to the Top. You know, because it was just like my business just kept growing and growing. And listen, I was doing some of the things for that she was guiding me in as well, but it was all like when I opened myself up to that sexual energy and to receiving and expanding and allowing myself to continue to push my limits and my comfort zone in that area in a way that I would be like, there is no way I would ever touch that, you know, was like, wow. I mean, it has become my form of celebration, of expansion, of intimacy, of connection, of soothing, of everything in my life.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And it sucks that we've been like disconnected from that energy. And it's like, it's pure creative life force energy. It's the energy that made every living thing on this planet. It is so sacred and so pure. And plus, if you're a woman not choosing to funnel that energy to make a human this month, you can birth other things into the world. It's so fun.
It's so fun. And I love being able to really look at it that way. You know, that when we play with that energy, it's really about creation. Like, what else do you want to create in your life? Like, get excited about it. So fun. So one of the tools I know you use a lot is theta healing. Well, primarily, right? And it is freaking brilliant and so effective and so powerful. And I was wondering if you could do a little bit of a demo so that people could feel into that a little bit.
I would love to. So what I'm going to do is use higher power in your brain. You can transmute that to like God, creator, source, energy, the universe, whatever you desire. And all you have to do is say yes to receive. So we're going into your unconscious belief systems, clearing out the old root that doesn't serve and support you, and healing it from that place. So it's like getting to the root of the problem so that it's no longer an issue, which is so amazing. So you can take some deep breaths and close your eyes. Let your body relax a little bit. And you want to clear, release, and let go of any old belief systems, stories, cultural belief systems, or negative emotions that have been holding you back. And if you'd like to release and let go of that now, you can say, yeah.
Yes.
And you want to know that you're worthy and deserving of creating what your heart desires, that you can allow yourself to co-create with others, with your higher power, that you can allow yourself to even more deeply connect with your inner guidance systems, that you can choose to move forward in your divine life path with your soul's mission, that you can move forward in your divine inspired action baby steps with ease, speed, grace, joy, and love, and that you know what that looks like and feels like through your higher power, that you know that it's safe to, that you're worthy and deserving of it, and that what that looks like and feels like in all aspects of your life, in your business, in your personal life, in all areas. Would you like that?
Yes.
And take some deep breaths whenever it feels like, oh wow, that was like a lot of stuff moving. You can also like shake it out if you're like, ooh, upgrades happening. And you want to know what it looks like and feels like to tune into the quantum field, that you can allow miracles to happen in your world, that you can expand your capacity to receive, that you can heal your relationship with yourself, your body, with others. And that you can also forgive yourself and others for any hardships, quote, mistakes, quote, wrongdoings or failures that you've experienced, that you can forgive yourself and others so that you have a clean slate moving forward. If you'd like that, you can say yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to cut any and all cords, contracts, vows, commitments, oaths, bonds, and obligations, clearing out any stuck energy? And we can also resolve this on a history level as well for you, so you can move forward with pleasure. So you can clear, release, and let go of any shame or judgment or negative unmet expectations of your life or of your relationships or of your pleasure. That you can clear out any and all resentments as well. And if you'd like that, you can say yes.
Yes.
Do you want to know that it's safe to be in pleasure, that it is your birthright to have pleasurable expansion, that you can allow yourself to tune in to your highest self who knows the truth of who you are and the most easeful, optimal paths that you can move forward in. And if you'd like that, you can say yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to clear, release, and let go of any and all old fears or stories that it won't work for you, that you're not ready yet, that there's something wrong with you, something broken, something damaged, something different about you that makes it work for someone else, but not you? Do you want to clear, release, and let go of these separators that have happened in your world? And also we can open up your cell receptors to be magnetic and aligned to love, that you can connect with love, that you can feel and deeply receive unconditional love, and that you can be met where you're at, that you can feel deep acceptance and belonging in your world, and that you can deepen in to your belief systems of the truth of who you are and who you get to be on this planet, what you're meant to do and co-create on this planet, that you can deepen and ground into the highest truth of who you are. And if you'd like that, you can say yeah.
Yes.
And do you want to clear, release, and let go of any and all fears, worries, or doubts around that? Fear of success, fear of failure, feel that like too much will like become dangerous, clearing, releasing, and letting go of any and all levels of persecution fears, clearing that from a history level and all past lives as well. And you want to know that it's safe to stand up, it's safe to move forward, and that you know how to do that, that you can deepen into the knowingness that's grounded in you already, and that you can continue to expand it, expanding your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-trust. And if you'd like all of that, you can say yeah.
Yes.
And I'll tune into you, Laura. Is there any niggling bits you feel like coming up for you or in the field that you'd love me to quickly clear as well?
I'm feeling something coming up in my throat space.
Beautiful. So you can tune into your throat, or anyone else who's feeling something in a different area of your body, just tuning into that energy. And you can just note how big that energy is, what size and shape it is, what emotions attached to it, what body sensations living there. And if you could touch this old energy that's been living in your body, what kind of temperature, what kind of texture does it have? And we're going to safely move that old energy outside your body, placing it in front of you without any connections to you anymore. And have your higher power fill up that space where it used to live with unconditional love. Now that that energy is safely outside of your body, we're going to ask it a question. And you can simply allow the first thought, first feeling to come through. When you ask it, what were you trying to teach me?
Ease.
And then do you want to know what it looks like and feels like through your higher power to learn this lesson, to integrate this lesson with the most amount of ease, speed, grace, joy, and love for your highest and best good and your optimal health and vitality. And that you can clear, release, and let go of any and all old junk, blocks, baggage, negative emotions, or unhelpful frequencies that were attached to it as well, that we can clear out any and all similar frequency energies in your body that linked to that in some way, shape, or form, that we can also just give you an instant healing for those, and that we can mark these lessons as complete for you. And if you'd like that, you can say yes.
Yes.
And you want to know that you're worthy and deserving of ease, of this new lesson, of deeper safety in your body, of more abundance, of more pleasure, and that you know what your life looks like and feels like with it, that it's safe for you to move forward, that it won't hurt you or others, that you can live without those fears, and that you can deepen into the truth of who you are in any given moment. And if you'd like that, you can say it.
Yes.
And then we can have that old energy be transmuted into unconditional love and sent into the ether through your higher power. We'll have your higher power fill you up with unconditional love and healing energy in every cell of your being. And then we can integrate all of those changes, and I can offer you general healing for any and all other areas of your body, life, and business that are ready to be healed right now, and fill you up with your higher power's unconditional love, compassion, peace, and prosperity. And if you'd like that, you can say yes.
Yes.
And take some deep cleansing breaths, have some sighs, shake it out, drink some water. And I'd love to hear, Laura, how's your throat feeling now?
Expanded. Dude, I missed you so much.
I missed you so much too.
Oh, it feels so good to be held by you. I can't even tell you. My whole body felt that. And what I want to say is, like, I really encourage you, all of you who are watching live or on the replay, like, this is a perfect opportunity to practice receiving. Like, to do it over and over again and allow yourself to deepen your immersion into feeling, like palpably feeling the impact of this in your body. You know, like, I felt it everywhere. My whole body relaxed. My fingers were tingling. I just felt I always feel so safe in your field, you know, and just like feeling into the depth of safety that you can receive from another human channeling divine energy, and just allow yourself to receive deeper and deeper and immerse yourself in this. If that's all you take from this, right? Like, that's an amazing step and an amazing expansion of your field and your energy. Oh, and that felt like it was like an hour and it was 10 minutes.
So good. And they can also share in the comments, like, how's that feeling in your body now? If you tune inward, and do you have some divine inspired action coming through? We were layering that piece in there too.
Yeah. And so for me, what's coming forward is honestly to I guess to choose my ease more often and to
Mm-hmm.
allow myself to, and this is always the case for me, right? To deepen it just a little bit. It can be a millimeter shift, friends. It doesn't have to be like a huge change in your life, but it's like, because I mean, I do this work all day, every day. I mean, not in theta healing in particular, but, you know, in terms of receiving and allowing ease and listening to my body and following flow. But it's that in the moments when I'm running from one thing to the next and I choose ease, allow myself an extra 30 seconds to deepen the immersion, to just feel it more palpably in my human. Adam says he feels much lighter. Christina says lots of space. Neck popped after a few seconds on her shoulder.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Mm.
The other piece that, as you were sharing that, I'm going to invite you to choose differently than the current of the universe right now. Like, people tend to be busy and stressed out and running from one meeting to the next. And sometimes I'm a reflector, so I'm a chameleon. I'm literally like the kind of like reader of all the other people in my environment. So sometimes I'll notice myself, I'm like, everyone else is like on high alert and running from one meeting to the next and has zero time in between. And I'm like, I had a very spacious day. And then like, I'll get on specific calls and I'm like, okay, like the energy is different here, where like you almost get props for being so busy that you had back-to-back calls today, that like that there is pockets of the world that choose that, and maybe they have the energy for it, and maybe that is in their highest and best good, and maybe it's not, but like, who are we to say? But if it doesn't feel amazing for you, you get to take a step back, and it doesn't mean that you're like more lazy or not as good as, for not being like, oh, I'm super stressed too, and I have 50 million things on my list, and I'm the busiest person in the room too. Like, really choosing something different for that, being an embodiment of something different.
Yeah, because I mean, that's one of the things I've learned so much, right? Is that sometimes my body speaks differently than my mind. I mean, we know that very clearly. And sometimes my body speaks differently than my soul, you know, and it's finding that line and finding that harmony between the two, that's the pinnacle of your power, you know? So good. So friends, reach out to Laura. We're going to drop all of her links here for a message. Like, if you feel connected to her, and I can tell you, like, Laura, I'm going to get choked up here. Laura has seen me at my sickest point, my lowest points, and she has helped me and guided me so gently and so powerfully into, I mean, there's so many testaments to me being where I am today because of Laura. So I encourage you, if you feel connected to her, if you love this energy, she's so loving, and she'll kick your ass. She'll do both. That's what I love about her, is that she's like, no, like get out of the shit. Right. But it's so loving and so compassionate, and she will meet you exactly where you are, you know, and just hold you so unconditionally. I'm telling you, the level of expansion you can have in her field is absolutely limitless. So there's my tearful testimony.
Thank you so much, love.
Just being in your space, look what you activate.
Yay.
Oh, it's just so beautiful. I can't even tell you just the depth of beauty that exists in the energy between, you know, it was just being in her field. So reach out to her, send her a message. What's the best place that you would like people to contact you? Because I know we have multiple links, but what's the place you love to chat with people?
Facebook Messenger, and then I can send little voice messages back. And right now I have Increase Your Impact and Income going on again.
Oh,
so
yay.
if you're like really into more impact in the world, being the change, and having a lot more like money flow your way, such a great place to start off.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I love so much about you too, is that, you know, Laura is somebody who actually lives her life fully dedicated to the expansion of the planet. You know, like I'll just never forget where she'd be like, you know, I don't even own a car. Like, you know, at the time she was just like, no, like, I'm not putting that shit into the atmosphere, you know, like, but just like very focused on giving back and like, visions of this really harmonious world and being able to give to charity and create communities that really expand the love and connection on this planet. And her mission is truly heart-centered. And honestly, the money just comes with it. Like the money just comes with it. It's like a byproduct, but she really helps you realize like what that core heart-centered soul mission is and how vital it is. And that's where we need to put our focus. And that's where we need to put our energy. Should we just talk about how great you are all day? Should we just do that?
I'm okay with that. Let's start my Monday on like 11/11, just like how awesome life is. I'm like, I'm a yes.
Anyway, guys, yeah, I love you so much too. And we have all of her links being dropped here. So you guys just click on her, say hi, reach out in Facebook Messenger. That's where you'll get her the best. And I will be here live again next Monday, same time, same place for another episode of Heal Profoundly and Enduringly. Thank you so much for being here and joining us.
Thank you. Sending you all lots of love.
We'll see you very soon, friends. Bye.
Bye.